In this video I'm going to show you 2 secrets when it comes to creating your own custom drum kit using different expansions and drum kits inside EZDrummer 2. Because of course you can match and combine different drums, and to get the very best sound you should watch this video. Hey everyone, this is Toby and welcome to another EZDrummer 2 tutorial video. This time talking about, like I told you, combining drums from different presets. In case you have some expansions of the EZDrummer 2 drums actually. So this is going to be very interesting for you because there are a couple of things nobody is talking about and it's not in the manual, and it's something that's very hard to discover yourself, so this is why I'm making this video for you. So right now we have the 11th video and I'm very happy that we actually got so much content out of this series, and I'm very excited about all the nice comments I got from you so far. So thank you very much for this. And I think there are still a couple of videos to go actually, because there's still a lot to learn about EZDrummer 2. And before I keep talking, let's take a quick look at my screen, because now you can see that I'm actually having 2 different instances of EZDrummer 2. Okay, and like I told you, this video is going to be about matching different instruments from different expansions. So when we take a little look at my expansions, for example, the ones I'm using, you can see that I have a lot of different expansions for EZDrummer 2. So I have the Action expansion Dream Pop drum kit from Hell, which is 10 years old or even a little bit older. So I bought this one 10 years ago. I was just finding the builds. You can see there's like tons of different expansions. And inside these expansions you have tons of different drum samples and drum kits and stuff like this. So one of the very nice features from EZDrummer 2 is that you can not just create your custom drum kit inside one expansion, but you can actually, for example, you can use the kick drum from any of the Dream Pop kits, which is quite a lot, as you can see over here. Then you can use the snare from Metalheads, you can use the toms from Pop Rock and stuff like this to create your custom kit. And this is a very big task because, it's not difficult. But what happens is that you spend hours and days searching for the perfect sound. And there are 2 things that are really important, which is one time the mixer of the presets, and one time it's the room the drums have been recorded in. So this is something that you can barely find any information about in the internet. And it's very, let's say, it's not often mentioned in tutorials about the EZDrummer 2, but this is something very important when you want to have the best sound possible. So this is also why I told you I'm going to show you 2 secrets. So first, let's actually have a look how you can change the drum kits and combine drum kits from different drums. So as you can see on the right EZDrummer instance, I just have the default drum kit from EZDrummer 2. And if we take a listen, let me just quickly check this one. So this is how it sounds like. Okay, so I prepared a little drum fill, no, it's not a drum fill, but I prepared a drum groove that just plays the kick, the snare and the tom, so you can hear the sound the studio was, or the sound of the studio the drums have been recorded in. So let's have a listen on this one. Okay, so this is how this one sounds like. It's a default drum kit. So in order to get the most out of this, I need to explain you a couple of things. But first, let's try to use the kick drum from the Rock Solid expansion, which I have opened in the second instance of EZDrummer here on the left. So let's have a quick listen how this one sounds. Okay, so I would suggest you turning up the volume a little bit so you can hear the drums and the reverb and the room sound better, because when you are listening to these with low volume, it's going to be a little bit harder to hear the difference. Yeah, so we can use the kick drum because I like the kick drum. It's kind of massive, you know, it got balls, and I like this one. And let's assume we want to use this one in the EZDrummer 2 modern drum kit. So what you can do is you go to the instance where you have EZDrummer 2. And by the way, you do not need to have 2 open instances of EZDrummer for this one, okay? So if you would close this down, it's no problem. It's working the same way. So you go to the kick drum you want to change, and then you click the little arrow as always. And when you click this little arrow, you see the entire list of instruments that are coming with the EZDrummer 2 modern default drum kit. So now if you want to use the drums from another expansion, you can click this orange bar over here, or you go to the rectangle. It doesn't really matter. And then you can see there's a drop down opening, and here you can select whatever expansion you have installed. Let's say Rock Solid one. And then you see all the kick drums from the Rock Solid expansion. And then you can use these inside your EZDrummer 2 modern drum kit. So of course this also works for the snares, for the toms. This works for every instrument. So when you have a couple of cymbals and a very nice ride you want to use from another expansion, you can easily add it to your favorite drum kit. And this is really awesome because when you have a lot of different drum kits, and you know, you possibly when you are this crazy like me and you buy shitloads of different products from Toontrack. So I didn't get them for free. I was buying these myself because I liked the sounds. Okay, so this is not some kind of advertising or stuff like this. And when you buy so many different drum kits, you possibly end up, after using them for a while, that you think that you like the kick drum of one drum kit and you like the presence of another one. Not the presence, sorry, I was distracted because my phone is ringing. Let's snooze it. Okay, so sorry. Whoa, shit. Yeah. So you like the kick drum from one. And then you like the snare from the default drum kit, and you like the ride from some of the metal drum kits or hard rock drum kits. It's no problem, you can combine all of those. And this is how it's working, okay? And you may think that we are now done with the tutorial, but no, we are not, because there are 2 very important things I wanted to discuss, which are the secrets, because this is nothing that's really common around EZDrummer users. So let's talk about how the drums are recorded first. This is important because you really need to understand this. I know that you want to see something on the screen, but this is, sorry, but you know, you have to go through this with me. So first of all the different drum kits, they are from different periods, and they have been recorded by different engineers, and they have been mixed by different engineers. And all the drum kits are recorded in different rooms. So you obviously, one of the big parts of the drum kit sound is the room sound where the drums have been recorded in. Believe it or not, this is going to make a really big difference, because when you take a listen at the Rock Solid drum kit, this is my favorite in terms of room sound, because it really just sounds massive and huge. It always sounds like on a live concert, okay? So let's have a quick listen on the Rock Solid just to take note of the room sound and the ambience going on. Okay, it's really huge. I don't know any other word. So the room sound is saved within your preset, which means that when you take a look on the EZDrummer default drum kit, if I was including all the toms, all the snares and the kick drums over to the EZDrummer 2 modern preset, the room is bound to the preset, which means the sound will be like you have been recording these drums from Rock Solid in the room the EZDrummer 2 drum kit has been recorded in, if this makes sense. So you take everything to the new preset except the room and the ambient sounds, okay? Which means that when you have a preset where you like the room sound and you're going to take those instruments to another drum kit, you are losing the room sound, okay? And this is something you should keep in mind when you select your drum kit, because if you were asking yourself, like, let's make an example, okay? Let's assume you wanted to mix the rock solid drum kit on the left with the EZDrummer 2 modern drum kit on the right. And you may think it doesn't matter whether you put the drums from rock solid over to the EZDrummer and create your custom kit, or whether you take the EZDrummer 2 drums over to the rock solid preset. But it makes a difference because of the room sound. So this is one of the secrets that's highly overlooked, okay? Because many people don't really think about the room sound. And once more, to show you how big the difference is, let's go to the mixer tab. And let's go to the ambience slider, because this is going to control the amount of room sound. And let's put this up to 0 and let's solo it. And I'm going to do the same on the right side with the original EZDrummer 2. And let's put the ambience up and solo it. So now if we play the drums, you're just going to hear the room sound and the room mics. And yeah, let's have a listen, so you're going to see how different it's going to sound. The next one. Okay, so you can definitely hear that the room where the EZDrummer 2 drum kit has been recorded at is a lot smaller, okay? And the rock solid drum kit is just, you know, it has been recorded in a huge studio. So when you take a look at the Toontrack website and you go to the rock solid expansion, what's really cool is that Toontrack always creates, they are recording a making of video that's showing the engineers, you know, the drummers that were playing the grooves coming with the expansion. And they are also introducing the studio the drums have been recorded in. And almost every expansion from EZDrummer has been recorded in a different studio. So when you think about creating your custom drum kit, you should definitely think about what kind of studio you want to have the sound from, because this can actually completely change how you are going to create your drum kit. Okay, so long story short, keep the room in mind. Don't just combine or take any preset and put the drums over, because this is going to sound weird. The next thing I want to tell you is that you can use preset 1 and you can get rid of all of the drums and take half the drums from preset 2 and half the drums from preset 3, okay? So what I mean with this one is that when you have a preset where you like the room, or you have an expansion where you like the room sound, and you don't like any of the drums on your drum kit, you can swap and change all of them with different drums. It's totally fine, because like I told you, the drum sound is going to stay, you know, and the room sound is also going to stay. And this has a very big impact, okay? So this is number one you should think about. Feel free to experiment with this a little bit, because it's going to be difficult to find your sound and the perfect drum sound and all the different combinations of toms, because you will possibly end up creating a drum kit and then you are fine with the results. One day later you open up your project, you record some guitars, or you take a listen with different instruments added, and then you think, yeah, well, maybe you need a different snare sound because the snare is not cutting through, or you don't think the snare is fitting to the genre or something like this. So you keep changing the snare, and then one day later you keep changing the toms. And trust me, it's totally normal, because when you have so many possibilities, like, you know, like EZDrummer is providing, you just need some time to get used to all the sounds and to figure out what's the best sounding one for you. Okay, so you know about the room reverb, and this is, like I told you, something barely known among EZDrummer 2 users. And then there's something different. Take a look at the mixer at my screen. So you can see on the left one, This is the mixer from the Rock Solid Big Plate preset, and on the right side we have the EZDrummer 2 Modern Basic preset. And you can see that while the mixer looks almost identical, we have a couple more faders in Rock Solid, and the amount of faders is always changing by the expansion. But what's really changing and going on in the background is over here you can see that on the Rock Solid mixer we have some sections, additional knobs we can use and automate for plate reverb and for the reverb send. On the right side, on EZDrummer 2 Modern, we have reverb, we have dynamics, we can change the pitch from the heads and from the cymbals, and we can adjust the amount of microphone bleeding. Microphone bleeding is when you have room sounds, obviously. Or let's make it different. When you are recording a snare drum, the snare drum is just above and in front of the kick drum. So when you point your microphone at the snare drum and you play the kick drum can be heard in a microphone that is supposed to mic up the snare drum. And this is called bleeding. Because you can't isolate all the drums to just be hearable in the respective microphone, that's there to just record these drums, which means you are always going to hear the kick drum inside your snare and inside your tom microphones and stuff like this. And this is called bleeding. So you can adjust the amount of bleeding, which you can't in the Rock Solid preset. So if you like to use these buttons, you should definitely include your drums over to the EZDrummer 2 preset, okay? Because as you can imagine, when you choose the EZDrummer 2 Modern kit as a bass, you are always going to have these buttons in the preset. So technically you can include the entire Rock Solid drum kit, but you will still have a reverb, a dynamic, a pitch, and a mic bleed buttons or knobs on your mixer. Okay, so this is actually secret number 2, because the mixer depends on the preset and sometimes also on the expansion itself. So you will notice that sometimes on some expansions, even different presets have different knobs and different options. And this is also something to consider, because when you use these knobs a lot to tweak your drums, or when you use automation, which is something I'm going to show you in a later tutorial video, you may want to choose a drum kit or a preset where you have the right mixer layout, because this is fixed. This is actually the mixer layout is determined by the preset you are using. Okay, and this is very important because let me show you something. I mean, possibly you know that when you record electronic drums, not electronic drums, but when you record a drum kit, what you are hearing on the finished track or on the finished song is highly processed. So almost every drum kit or drum piece of your drum kit is actually processed using equalizers, using compression. Sometimes people are adding parallel compression to beef up the drums. So there are tons of different techniques to change the drum sound and to make it, to polish it for our music production. And almost all the EZDrummer presets are polished and processed already, which means that even though you can see the effects, there is some equalization and compression and stuff like this going on. So this is done by the mixing engineers that you can also see in the making of videos, because these people have been designed the presets you can use. So when you choose any of those presets, you are not going to have a raw drum sound. It's processed already. However, if you take a look at my screen, if you want to try the raw drum sound, it's always called original mix. Okay, so on the original mix, the volume of the drums have been adjusted, but there is no equalization, no compression, nothing. So to show you the difference, let's have a quick listen on the EZDrummer 2 original drum kit. One time the basic preset, which is processed. Let's remove the solo over here. Okay, so this is the processed sound of the basic preset, and then let's use the original mix. So there is no processing. And there you can see that the mixer has changed because the processing, is obviously different. And all the knobs you had earlier have been removed. Okay, so you have a completely different mixer setup right now. You can just change the mic bleed. And now let's have a listen how the drum sounds like. Okay, this is the pure sound of the audio recording. This is very helpful if you want to mix the drums yourself. And as you can guess, I'm also making a video tutorial about this one. Because if you want to adjust the drums, you can use these presets. But anyway, what I want to say with this one is that you have specific equalization and compression going on depending on the preset. So preset by preset is going to be different in terms of equalization. It's going to be different in terms of compression. And this is also something to keep in mind because, when you load your favorite kick drum from rock solid into the basic preset, it's going to sound a little bit different than when you were using it in the 80s preset. And when you use the disco pop preset and you include the rock solid kick drum, it's going to sound different again because the processing, the equalization and the compression depends on the preset. So you have to keep in mind when you select your drum kit and when you choose different components from your drum kit, you also have to keep in mind the room. You have to keep in mind the mixer layout, and you have also to consider the mixer processing or the processing of the drums in the background in terms of EQ, compression, and so on. Okay, so actually it's almost 3 secrets, but this is very important, believe it or not. So I know this tutorial is a lot of talking, or it was a lot of talking because I made my point, but I hope you understand this because this is very important. Because your favorite kick drum may sound completely different in another preset. And this opens up a million different possibilities and combinations sound-wise. But this is also going to give you a headache if you overdo it. So my recommendation is that you keep in mind what I told you. And if you want to shape your sound and fine-tune it, think about these 3 things I told you in this video tutorial. Otherwise, just make music, just use EZDrummer. The presets are really fine and you can swap some drums. And don't stress yourself too much about getting the perfect drum sound. You don't always have to, okay? Because there's one big rule in music production, and this rule, it's working like this. If it sounds right, it is right, okay? And it doesn't matter what kind of techniques you use. It doesn't matter if you use gear for 100,000 euro to produce your songs. You can also use gear for 50 euro or dollars, okay? And if it sounds good, it is good, okay? So there's nothing that can change this statement, okay? So instead of taking 50 hours to create your perfect custom drum kit, which you are not going to like 1 month after, you should just focus on making music and finishing your project. Okay, that's my final word for this tutorial. I really hope you enjoyed what I was showing you in this tutorial, because like I told you, this is some very uncommon information that you can barely find anywhere on the internet. Yeah, and I hope this is going to help you to refine your sounds when you want to search for more sonic possibilities in terms of EZDrummer 2. Okay, so that's pretty much it. As always, if you have any questions, drop a comment below. Otherwise, push the like button or share this video, because the more people are watching these, the more people I can help, understanding and getting along with EZDrummer 2. And yeah. Otherwise, I think that's pretty much it. So thank you very, very much for watching, and I hope we are going to see each other in the next tutorial video. Okay, bye bye.